20 Insane Things You Didn't Know About Pablo Escobar. If you have never heard the name Pablo Escobar, then you've probably been living in a cave. One of the most famous, or infamous, people of all time. Pablo Escobar explored the dark world to such an extent that he's probably the only man that has touched the deepest point of the gangster and drug mafia. Although it's for the wrong reasons, Pablo Escobar is arguably one of the most successful people in the world. Through a clever understanding of the system and many connections, Escobar operated a business model way ahead of its time. Even with the help of the United States, the Colombian government often went on many wild goose chases just to stop him. At his prime, his influence and power almost rivaled that of a country's president. Hello Dollar Brewers. Welcome back to another incredible video. Join us today as we count down 20 insane things you probably didn't know about Pablo Escobar. Before we dive in, do the usual. Give this video a like, and if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. And welcome to the Dollar Brew family. Let's dive in. Number 1. Pablo Escobar was the king of cocaine. Pablo Escobar earned the nickname, King of Cocaine. He was the sole leader of the Medellin cartel, which he founded in 1976. The cartel soon monopolized the cocaine trade into the USA in the 1980s and 1990s. At its peak, the cartel was responsible for 80% of the cocaine sent to the US. Escobar's drug business reached to such an enormous extent that he was smuggling 15 tons of cocaine every day at one point of time in his career. He even used to smuggle cocaine in planes' tires. The pilots could earn as much as $500,000 on the basis of how much product they were smuggling. Number 2. His own brother turned against him. During the takedown of Escobar, he was turned on by his own brother, former accountant Roberto Escobar. Juan Sebastian Mariquin Santos, Pablo's son, wrote in his book, Pablo Escobar, My Father, My Uncle Roberto Escobar, the official informant of the DEA, actively contributed to delivering him to his enemies. He, his siblings, and even his own mother. It is a story that I'm not proud of, and I wish it had been a story about family values, respect, and company, and affection, but sadly it was not like that. Number 3. Bribing the Colombian government. Escobar was so feared that he was able to bribe even the highest-ranking politicians, officials, and judges. His motto was plata o plomo, meaning silver or lead. Those who could not be bribed with money would be shot and killed. As Mark Bowden, author of Killing Pablo, The Hunt for the World's Greatest Outlaw, described it, between 1976 and 1980, bank deposits in Colombia's 4 major cities more than doubled. So many illegal American dollars were flooding into the country that the country's elite began looking for ways to score its share without breaking the law. President Alfonso López Michelsen's administration permitted a practice that the central bank called opening a side window, which allowed unlimited quantities of dollars to be converted to Colombian pesos. The government played along by turning a blind eye. Number 4. His family went through hell. Even after his death, Escobar's wife and son had to move to Argentina, where they lived in exile. His wife Maria Henao changed her name to Maria Santos Caballero, and his son Juan Pablo became Juan Sebastian Mariquin Santos. In 2000, they were both arrested for money laundering and sentenced to 15 months in jail before being released due to insufficient evidence. Escobar's wife said, "I am a prisoner in Argentina for being Colombian. They want to try the ghost of Pablo Escobar because they want to prove that Argentina is combating drug trafficking." Number 5. Trafficking underage girls. In 1976, before his career in the cartel had really begun, Pablo Escobar married Maria Victoria Henao. He was 26, and she was 15. Escobar's connection with young girls continued long into his marriage. Underage girls from poor neighborhoods were gathered by a group of his men called Los Señuelos, meaning bait, then brought to parties. According to Colombia's Semana magazine, after one of his depraved orgies, police discovered the bodies of 24 young girls who were all under 19 years old. Number 6. His bombing trail also killed children. In early 1993, another one of Pablo Escobar's bombs killed 20 shoppers, including 4 children, and injured around 70 other victims. During peak time at northern Bogotá's Center 93 Mall, a remote-controlled bomb placed in a stolen van was detonated outside a bookstore, where young children were shopping for school supplies. Number 7. He killed 107 people aboard a plane. In 1989, 101 passengers and a crew of 6 were all killed during an explosion on Avianca Flight 203, which was bound for Cali. The Boeing 727 crashed near Bogotá, and the event was the deadliest single criminal attack to occur in Colombia for decades. Escobar had planned the explosion in the hope that it would kill the presidential candidate, Cesar Gaviria Trujillo. However, Trujillo was not on the flight and went on to become president of Colombia. The bombing also resulted in the deaths of 2 Americans, which led the Bush administration to begin their hunt for Escobar to bring him to justice. Number 8. He turned Medellin into Colombia's murder capital. In 1989, Medellin reportedly had the highest homicide rate in Colombia. In that year alone, more than 2,600 people were brutally murdered in a city with a population of 2 million. According to Charles Anthony Gillespie, who was the U.S. ambassador to Colombia between 1985 to 1988, the city was under the control of the narcotics empire, and the daily slayings were out of control. He said, "A class of assassins had developed in Colombia. They are called sicarios, hired assassins, in Spanish. These are kids, often street kids who were basically brought up in small gangs where they learned how to kill people. They were tested by being given a gun. They would go out and get on a motorcycle, ride up behind somebody, put their gun as near as they could to the back of someone's head or the rear window of the car, and blast away. Or they would do that when the car was stopped at a light. If the car is not armored or does not have some armor plate, that's goodbye to the victim. That's the end of it." Number 9. He hid behind his Robin Hood image. Unbelievably, during his reign of terror, Escobar was also looked upon as a Robin Hood-like figure. He built schools and sports fields for the local communities, donated large sums of money to charity, funded people's medical expenses, and built houses for the poor. His construction, Barrio Pablo Escobar, still exists today and houses more than 12,000 people in 2,800 homes. There are even images of him at the site with the sign, "Welcome to Barrio Pablo Escobar. Here, you breathe peace." Number 10. He used hitmen to do the job. In order for Escobar to rise to the top of his game, he had to incite terror in both his colleagues and his competition. Rarely was there blood on his own hands. Instead, he controlled a network of hitmen. His top hitman was John Jairo Velázquez, also known as Popeye. One of Popeye's most notable hits was the assassination of presidential hopeful and anti-drug trafficking crusader Luis Carlos Galán in 1989. After Popeye was convicted for his role in that hit, he confessed to participating in around 300 murders and ordering some 3,000 others. Number 11. He stole tombstones to make his first fortune. For Escobar, business always came before morals, and that was a rule he stuck by from the very beginning. Born December 1, 1949, in Rio Negro, Colombia, and raised in nearby Medellin, he was a child of an era known as La Violencia, during which there was much political unrest and poverty. Escobar wanted a different life for himself. It is said that one of his first illegal enterprises was robbing tombstones from local graveyards, sanding down the names, and selling them to Panamanian smugglers. Escobar stated that by the age of 22, he would be a millionaire. He never had a doubt. Number 12. Pablo Escobar got married at age 26. Maria Victoria Henao was only 13 years old when she and Pablo first met in her hometown in Envigado, Colombia. Maria Victoria Henao was only 15 when she married the 26-year-old Escobar. Number 13. Juan Escobar is the real name of Pablo's son. Sebastian Mariquin's real name is Juan Pablo Escobar Henao. According to reports, Juan Escobar changed his name to Sebastian Mariquin because he believed that his real name was cursed by a voodoo priest that he met in Mozambique. Number 14. Sebastian Mariquin had a change of heart. Mariquin admitted to wanting revenge for what happened to his father and planned to continue his father's crime legacy. However, he had a change of heart and even fostered a good relationship with the sons of various Colombian officials. Number 15. Escobar was first arrested in 1974. A car theft incident marked Pablo Escobar's first arrest in 1974. However, he already rose up the ranks as a drug smuggler and founded the crime organization known as the Medellin Cartel 2 years prior to this arrest. Number 16. Escobar tried to pay off Colombia's debt. He had an extravagant lifestyle including luxurious homes and private planes. According to some reports, he tried to pay off Colombia's debt worth $10 billion in exchange for freeing him from any extradition arrangement. How's that for insane Pablo Escobar facts? Number 17. He burned real money to keep his family warm. Escobar reportedly burned around $2 million to keep his family warm on cold nights during their run in the early 90s. As they moved from place to place, Pablo would sometimes blindfold his family every 2 days because he didn't want them to know where they were. Number 18. Pablo Escobar surrendered to the government in 1991. Pablo Escobar surrendered to the government in 1991 through a no-extradition deal with the former president of Colombia, Cesar Gaviria. This is along with an agreement that Escobar will be placed in a self-built prison known as La Catedral. Number 19. La Catedral is also known as Hotel Escobar or Club Medellin. La Catedral or Escobar's self-built prison has an overlooking view of the city of Medellin and is built to specifications ordered by Pablo. He might have surrendered himself, but this self-built prison was like a vacation getaway. It was pretty much a mansion with complete entertainment facilities, a football pitch, bar, jacuzzi, and giant dollhouse reportedly filled with prostitutes. Number 20. Pablo Escobar supplied at least 85% of the world's cocaine market. Although Pablo Escobar operated in a few countries, his cartel supplied over 85% of the world's cocaine market at a certain point. At the peak of its operations, the Medellin cartel smuggled an outrageous volume of cocaine every week all over the world. Well, brewers, there you have it. This was the larger-than-life of the most infamous criminal in world history, Pablo Escobar. Many documents related to Pablo Escobar, his cartel, and his role in various activities still remain controversial or simply unknown. Comment down below which insane fact you found most fascinating to you. Also, as usual, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe for more exciting videos like this. See you in the next one.